All right, let's talk about making changes that actually stick. Today, we're diving into a powerful blueprint for change inspired by the book Atomic Habits. And forget about those massive, overwhelming goals. We're going to focus on something way, way smaller. But trust me, it's a whole lot more powerful. You know how it is, right? January 1st, you're all in. New gym membership, healthy food in the fridge. And then by February, what happens? It just kind of fades. It's super frustrating, and we've all been there. But here's the secret. It's probably not your fault. It's the system you're using. So, what's the big secret then? Well, it's this tiny number right here, just 1%. The whole idea is that you don't need some massive, heroic effort to get amazing results. Nope. All you need is to get just 1% better every single day. It sounds almost too easy, right? But wait till you see how the math works out. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Okay, so let's really dig into this idea, because honestly, it's the foundation for everything else we're about to cover. It all comes down to the magic of compounding. Think of it like investing money. You put in a little bit, and it doesn't seem like much at first. But with compound interest, that small amount just explodes over time. Well, habits are the exact same. Get just 1% better each day for a year, and you end up almost 38 times better. 38 times! But, and this is important, it works the other way too. Getting 1% worse every day is just as powerful, but in a bad way. So really, it's these tiny, everyday choices that completely shape where you end up. Okay, that sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? Well, the good news is there's a system. Turns out, every single habit you have, whether it's good or bad, follows this really simple, predictable loop in your brain. And once you understand that loop, that's when you can start to take charge. And boom, here it is, the whole blueprint. Every habit runs on this four-step loop. There's a cue, then a craving, a response, and finally a reward. So to build a good habit, all we have to do is hack this loop using four simple laws. We're going to make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. Let's dive into each one. All right, so this first part, it's all about getting the ball rolling. We're talking about the trigger for the habit and building up that little bit of motivation you need to just get started. Okay, law number 1, make it obvious. Think about it. Why do most of us forget to floss? Because the cue just isn't there. Your environment has this huge invisible pull on your actions. So if you want to build a good habit, you have to design your surroundings to help you out. You want to read more? Easy. Just put a book right on your pillow. Want to drink more water? Keep a bottle on your desk where you can't miss it. And here's a really cool trick to make a cue super obvious. It's called habit stacking. The idea is so simple. You just piggyback a new habit onto one you already do without thinking. The formula is basically, after my current habit, I will do my new habit. Like, after I pour my morning coffee, which you do every day anyway, I will meditate for 1 minute. See? Your coffee routine becomes the trigger. Brilliant! Next up, law 2, make it attractive. Let's be real, our brains are basically pleasure-seeking machines. We're hardwired to chase things that feel good, that give us that little hit of dopamine. So the trick here is pretty straightforward. We've got to make our good habits seem more fun and appealing. And I love this strategy for doing just that. It's called temptation bundling. You basically take something you want to do and pair it with something you need to do. For instance, maybe you love listening to a certain podcast. The rule becomes, I can only listen to my favorite podcast while I'm on the treadmill. Before you know it, your brain starts to link the workout with that feeling of enjoyment. Okay, we're halfway there. We've got the cue and the craving sorted out. But now for the hard part, right? How do we actually do the thing and make sure it becomes a permanent part of our lives? So, law 3 is make it easy. We have this idea that we need a ton of willpower to start something new, like we're pushing this giant boulder up a hill. But you know what? Motivation comes and goes. The real secret is to make it easier. You want to lower the barrier to entry so much that it's almost harder not to do it. And this is where the 2-minute rule comes in, and it's a game changer. The idea is, whatever new habit you're starting, you shrink it down until it takes less than 2 minutes to do. So read a book every night just becomes read 1 page. Or do 30 minutes of yoga becomes roll out my yoga mat. That's it. The point isn't to get a huge result right away. The point is to master the habit of just starting. And that brings us to our final law, which might just be the most important one of all. Make it satisfying. Here's the deal with our brains. They want rewards, and they want them now. A bad habit, like eating a cookie, gives you an instant hit of pleasure. A good habit, like going for a run, well, the reward for that is way off in the future. So to make a good habit stick, you have to trick your brain. You have to give it some kind of immediate win.
So how do you do that? How do you get that instant feel-good moment? Simple. Track it. Just putting a big X on a calendar after you do your habit feels surprisingly good. It builds momentum. And that leads to the golden rule of habit formation. Never miss twice. Look, everybody slips up. Missing one day is no big deal. But missing 2 days in a row, that's the start of a new bad habit. Don't let it happen.
Okay, so that's the whole system for building good habits. But what about getting rid of the bad ones? Well, what's so great about this whole framework is that you don't need a new one. You just take everything we've learned and you flip it completely upside down. It's honestly that easy. To break a bad habit, you just invert the 4 laws. So instead of making it obvious, you make it invisible. Hide the cookies. Instead of making it attractive, make it unattractive. Remind yourself why you don't want to do it. Instead of easy, make it difficult. And instead of satisfying, you make it unsatisfying. It's a super clear, step-by-step way to dismantle those habits you want to get rid of. So let's just pull all of this together for a second, because really, the biggest idea in all of this isn't about the results you get, like losing weight or writing a book. It's about the person you become along the way. And this quote from James Clear just says it all, doesn't it? Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Think about that. The goal isn't to just do something, it's to be someone. You're not just trying to run a marathon, you're trying to become a runner. Every single time you lace up your shoes, you're casting a vote for that identity. You're literally building a new version of yourself, one tiny vote at a time. So look, it's not about perfection. It's not about some huge overnight change. It's just about starting small. It's about